Ever find yourself staring at a blank page, desperately waiting for inspiration to strike? It's one of the most frustrating feelings in the world. But lucky for you, creativity isn't some magical talent that you're either born with or you're not. Sometimes starting something new can take forever, and then you get stuck in this creative limbo. In this video, I'll reveal the secret to generating endless ideas so that you're never stuck again.
Let's do this!
Why does coming up with ideas feel so difficult? You might feel like your creativity has just run dry, but that's not the problem at all. The truth is, it's not possible to run out of ideas. Think of creativity like rain, because when it rains, the water soaks into the ground, and after a while, it seems to disappear. But it hasn't. It evaporates, and eventually, it comes back down as rain again. Your creativity works the same way. You're constantly absorbing ideas from movies, books, and conversations. These ideas don't just disappear, they recycle, combining in new ways to create something fresh. Ed Sheeran uses a great analogy for this. He describes songwriting as turning on a faucet in an old house. Is it faucet or faucet? Yeah, faucet sounds better. I'm gonna go with faucet. At first, only dirty water flows out, but if you keep it running, the water eventually becomes clear. The dirty water isn't the problem, it's just part of the process. He doesn't stop when the dirty water comes out, and neither should you. Think about it. How many times have you started a screenplay with an idea that you thought was amazing, only to give up on it halfway through? The idea didn't change, you did. That's why the key isn't finding the perfect idea, it's letting yourself write the imperfect one. When an idea doesn't feel perfect, you don't allow yourself to write it. But the truth is, there's no such thing as a perfect idea. There's no such thing as a bad idea either. It's your perception of these ideas that allows you to turn them into something new. So stop waiting for perfection. Embrace the messy, dirty water phase of creativity, because it's the only way to get to the good stuff. So if these ideas are already inside you, how do you get them out of your head and onto the page? Right now, it might feel like there's a dam blocking your creativity, just stopping the flow of any of your ideas. What you need to do is grab a sledgehammer, break it down, and just let everything spill out of you.
Everybody get off the dam!
The truth is, you can write about anything you want, because writing is kind of like rollerblading. If you spent years of your life ice skating, you'll pick up rollerblading a lot faster than someone who's never skated at all. The same goes for screenwriting. Even if you're not actively working on a screenplay, practicing any kind of writing, whether it's journaling, poetry, short stories, it all helps develop your creative muscles. And the more you practice, the easier it becomes to channel that creativity into your screenplays. But there's one problem with that. If you're not allowing yourself to be creative in the first place, you can't build any of these muscles. So how do you break through this block you're facing and start letting your creativity flow? I'm gonna share a routine with you that doesn't just crush writer's block, it turns screenwriting into a daily habit. And the best part, it trains you to write without judgment, just letting your ideas come out of you naturally and unlocking that creativity you didn't even know you had. The goal isn't to produce quality, it's to focus on flow. You're teaching your brain to put words on the page without overthinking. Over time, this habit will spill into your screenwriting. You'll start capturing raw, honest ideas that can spark entire scenes or unforgettable lines of dialogue. To really get the most out of this, write longhand. It's been proven by now that physically writing with your pen and paper, it slows your thoughts and encourages reflection. But the most important rule before we start, don't stop. If you don't know what to write, just write that. I don't know what to write. Just keep going, and eventually ideas will start pouring out of you. So here's how it works. Every morning, sit down and write a couple of pages. About what? Anything. There's no wrong way to do this. You can write about your bad day at work. You can write about why you hate your friends so much. Or you can even write about how stupid this feels. Like, seriously, I've literally written things like, this is pointless. This isn't gonna help my screenwriting. This is stupid. I'm stupid. But here's the thing, it does help. By doing this every day, you'll start trusting your creative instincts. You'll stop second guessing yourself and just let your thoughts flow freely. Once that happens, you'll find yourself honestly stumbling on ideas that are pure gold, the kind that can transform your screenplay into something extraordinary. And once writing becomes a habit, You need a system to actually come up with ideas every single day. Otherwise, you'll just stay stuck feeling like you can't think of anything new. But from this, you'll have more ideas than you even know what to do with. But don't rush into it. The best results come if you do this after 2 to 3 weeks of morning pages, because by then you'll have mastered writing without judgment, which is essential for unlocking your creativity. So for this, every day, write down 10 ideas. Not 10 good ideas, just 10 ideas. And these could be about anything. It could be 10 new screenplay ideas, 10 possible scenes for your script, 10 reasons why you can't get a girlfriend. Whatever gets you thinking. If you can't come up with 10 ideas, ready? Come up with 20 ideas. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but when you raise the bar, you stop filtering and you just let your ideas flow. Your brain will surprise you with what it could come up with when it stops worrying about being right. Because if you just want to come up with 20 ideas, then suddenly it's like, oh, I just need 20 ideas. So it lets anything that you think of come onto the page. After a few days or a few weeks of this, you'll have such a long list of ideas that you just pick 2 or 3 out of them that excite you and flesh those into short stories. Just a couple of pages. Over time, you'll find that coming up with unique concepts becomes second nature to you. And this is a skill that every great screenwriter needs. Now, this next step, it's not essential, but it can be incredibly helpful if you want some feedback or a morale boost. A simple way to do this is by posting your short stories to r/writing prompts, which is a subreddit where writers share their work. The feedback you receive can help you polish your ideas even more. With that being said, I don't want you to stress about this step, because if you already feel strongly about one of your ideas, you don't need external validation to move forward. But if you're feeling kind of unsure, this can be a great way to gain some clarity and confidence in yourself. Now, this is the final step. And I'll be honest, it's not easy. But if you're serious about becoming the kind of writer who creates screenplays that stand out, this exercise will transform the way you write forever. To show you how this exercise works, imagine this. Imagine you see an old friend that you haven't seen in years. You're overcome with joy and you sprint towards them. You're running with purpose, clarity, and nothing but pure excitement. This is writing without fear. But now imagine the entire opposite happens. You're being chased by a bear. You're running out of panic. Your thoughts are scattered and every step becomes chaotic. You're not focused on where you're going anymore. You're just desperate to get away from the bear. This is writing driven by fear. And here's the truth. Fear is at the root of all bad writing, whether it's fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear that your work will never be good enough. This fear holds you back from saying what you want to say, and it waters down your writing so much. But when you remove this fear, something incredible happens. You stop holding back. You write boldly and authentically, and this is what makes your work resonate with people. So, how do you remove fear from your writing? Consider writing a screenplay with the intention of never showing it to anyone. And after you finish it, burn it. Delete it from your computer forever. Never show it to a single soul. And I know, this sounds horrible. Why would anyone in their right minds ever do something like this? So by burning it, you're proving to yourself that your creativity is not tied to this single screenplay. You're saying, I'm not writing for validation. I'm writing to tell the truth. And when you internalize this, your writing transforms. You'll say exactly what you mean, unfiltered and raw without holding anything back. And that's the kind of writing that gets you noticed. That's the kind of writing that moves people, that stands out and makes you an amazing writer. By letting go of fear, you unlock your full potential and the stories you've been dying to tell finally come to life. But if you struggle with writer's block, procrastination, or you just feel like finishing your screenplay is impossible, there's one thing you still need to know. And it's this one thing that transformed my writing and skyrocketed my progress. In this video, I share what I wish someone had told me before I ever started screenwriting. It's the key to overcoming the obstacles that hold most writers back and actually achieving your goals. Click here to watch it now and take the first step towards becoming the screenwriter you've always wanted to be.